A lot of high winds, got some big hail with it, and it's been rotating, and the rotation has tightened as of the most recent scan. So let me get the warning for you here. And we did at one point have a live picture of this as well. So if we can pull that up in the back at any point, I'd like to show that to our viewers. So this warning goes for about another 40 minutes till 7:15. It does include Douglas, Jefferson, and Shawnee. So this was the cam that we had earlier. Where is this one exactly? Okay, this is our Lawrence cam. So Lawrence is getting into some rain right now, but the tornado threat at this point is well to the northwest, west-northwest of Lawrence. But that's what it looks like in Lawrence right now as the storm approaches. So they're on the outer shield of the rain that's out ahead. That's Lawrence right there. The rotating part of the storm would be back right about here. It's likely just north of Topeka. We'll find it here in a moment. I'll tell you where it most likely is, and then we'll track it. Looks like it's moving to the east-southeast. Here's the latest warning. It's moving at about 25 miles per hour. This one's not going as fast as the ones that were up north in northwest Missouri. The hazard is a potential tornado and ping-pong ball size hail until 7:15. So we'll go back to our Doppler winds. This always helps us whenever we're on television to try to figure out where the tornado may be. It's a very obvious signature here. All right, so we have strong rotation. This is north of Topeka. Be looking at the town of Soldier. So Soldier, northeast of Topeka. This zone right here, that's where the tornado would be. It'd be southwest of Meridian. Here's Highway 24, just north of there. It's east of 75, and it's north of 70. So here's 70, there's 24, and here's 75. So Soldier, that would be Soldier or just east of Soldier is where that tornado may be, and there's the latest scan too. So it's maintaining its rotation. Very strong rotation there, and now that warning is extended into the northern part of Douglas County. I'll put the warning back on for you, and then we'll track this one out and see some communities that could be impacted by this. So I'd be looking at Lecompton. That's kind of right on the county line. So we've got Jefferson rather. There's Jefferson County here, and then this is northern Douglas County. So Lecompton's included in this. There's Soldier. It's just east of Soldier, and it's going to be entering parts of Jefferson County rather soon at about 25. Go ahead.
I don't know if you guys have my microphone here. This is not confirmed from the National Weather Service, but Emergency Management in Shawnee County does say that there are reports of it on the ground. So let's treat it as such.
It certainly looks like it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at this thing on radar, that's as tight of a circulation as we've seen. We saw, what, 12 tornadoes on Friday and Saturday? Mm-hmm. None of them were that intense of rotation.
Right.
So this could not only be a tornado, it could be, we see strong rotation. That's all we're saying. Certainly, as meteorologists, we look at this and really gets our attention. It's not one of these maybe it's there, maybe it's not. If this thing's producing a tornado, chances are rather high, is what I'm saying. So here's a track for you, southeast at about 25. So 6:58, that'd be about 20 minutes. That'd be Thompsonville. And then Perry Elementary School at 7:04. The warning goes till 7:15. So Lecompton, we showed you Lecompton earlier. That's off to the southeast. That would be roughly 7:06. And then Williamstown, that would be 7:12 as it threatens northern sections of Douglas County. And I want to get this off too, and I'll show you where Lawrence is, because I know a lot of people are probably wondering about, let's get rid of that, any friends or students or family member that they may have in that area of Douglas County. Lawrence is not in the warning. All right, let me pull this up a little bit so you can see Lawrence on our banner. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence not under a tornado warning right now. All right, so there's 70. Lecompton is, it's northern Douglas. Good idea, Warren, to check that out, because we can see debris. If there's a tornado, there is a such thing as a radar confirmed tornado where nobody saw it, but we can see the debris being lofted into the atmosphere by a tornado, and we could spot that on radar. Warren had that up moments ago. If you want to pull that back up over at the Weather Center, and Warren can take a peek at that. Do you see anything there?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can throw up Max 3 for me here. I know we're doing a lot of, okay, so we will get that here in just a second. But yeah, so basically what happens is you have a lot of uniform raindrops, thousands and thousands of them. And when you get large debris within that, either really large hail or even potentially debris on the ground from a tornado, that can cause a drop in the correlation coefficient. So we're looking for some brighter spots. A minute ago, I actually saw a pretty good drop, and it could have just been a little bit of clutter here, but I did kind of match up with that. It looked like there was a little bit of a drop in that correlation coefficient here and just east of Meriden. So that is the area that we're watching right now. But other than that, I don't see at the current time frame anything specifically. One thing I do want to note, though, there is likely a lot of rain around this rotation. So this is getting a little muddy because the line of storms is actually now starting to come together. And what happens is this becomes what we call rain wrap. So this turns really dangerous really fast. I know it's still light out, but we think that circulation could actually be in the heart of this, all of this rain. So not easy at all to see. So that will make reports or knowing if this is on the ground really challenging. And so we're going to treat this as if it is.
Now just have a new local storm report in from a train spotter for a tornado 2 miles northwest of Grantville in Jackson, Kansas. So in Jefferson, Kansas. So that is technically not in our viewing area, but still we are watching this tornado warned storm, but now a confirmed tornado warned storm, as we have had reports of that tornado sighting as it continues to move to the southeast around 25 miles per hour. So as we've been talking about, likely seeing this as rain wraps. So if you are in these locations and downstream, do be making sure you're getting in your tornado safe place as well. So they still have that update with that train spotter seeing the tornado along US 24. So if we take a closer look at this and zoom in a little bit, here's US 24. So it looks like a little bit of that rotation where they're meeting right at that US 24 interchange. And so as it continues to move towards the southeast, we're likely going to see that move towards portions of our viewing area, towards the Spencer, Tecumseh, eventually down into the Lee Compton area as well, as this is moving very slowly at this point, around 25 miles per hour. So that confirmed tornado spotted around US 24. So that is the latest information we have for reports, but this is also warned for ping pong sized hail as well. No reports of ping pong sized hail, radar indicated ping pong sized hail, but do be treating this, getting in your tornado safe place, as this is a confirmed tornado that a train spotter has seen just along the US 24 interchange as well. So that's the latest information we have now. I do want to see if we have any information on our correlation coefficient too along that US 24 kind of zone. And I'm not seeing, let's see if we can get this. I'm not seeing really much for our correlation coefficient there, but still we have that radar indicated rotation as well as that report that came in from a train spotter along US 24. So they also say that sheriffs are reporting very heavy rainfall as well as pea-sized hail at US 24 too. So heavy rainfall with this. We had a tornado confirmed for along US 24, as well as some pea-sized hail with this storm. So if you are downstream from this into portions of our Douglas counties, please be making sure you're getting in your tornado safe place at this time.
Thank you, Melissa. Good info there. All right, so also this is southern Jefferson County too. Now Jefferson's not technically part of our coverage area, but we're surely seen there. So it's about to cross over into Jefferson County, and just to the southeast of Soldier there, crossing the county line. We've had people reported that this is there, that there is indeed a tornado. We do not yet have the confirmed tornado warning from the National Weather Service, so they're sifting through the reports from the storm spotters, emergency managers, law enforcement officers, everybody out there that's looking at this. But it's hard to tell whenever you've got so much rain around it. This thing's right in the middle of rain. There's our latest scan. You can see it right there. It hasn't crossed county line as of the latest scan, but it's just about to. So Oskaloosa, you are not in the warning at this time. There's 59 highway, there's 24, highway 24 there, and highway 59. And Lecompton's included in that. Tecumseh's included in that. Topeka, it's northeast of Topeka. I always want to pull it back out a little bit and highlight Lawrence is not included in this right now. That is our current tornado warning, goes for about another half hour until 7:15. Let's see if we can take either our Lawrence cam or our mobile storm tracker. We've got Betsy Webster. She's been out tracking storms in the mobile storm tracker throughout the day. This is our Lawrence cam that we can see there. Lawrence looking okay right now. All right, so yeah, they've got some rain. It's a thunderstorm in their area, and we're going to track that as it gets, moving into northern Douglas County. And is it going to get extended toward Lawrence? We will see. It's not currently. There's our mobile storm tracker right now. Betsy Webster, Ken Price out checking this out and monitoring the storms for us. And you can see the skies are dark. It's angry. A lot of us are going to get thunderstorms tonight, and not everybody's going to see severe weather. But in the most intense portions of these cells, we do have the potential for some of them to rotate just like this one. All right, so it's not yet in northern Douglas. It's not yet in Jefferson County. It's to the west. It's north of Topeka. But that's what we're monitoring. That's why that warning warning has been extended. So you've got lead time here to get to your safe spot. You're not going to get eyeballs on this thing. Don't even try to go out and look at it. You just won't see it. And get to a safe location. You know, if you don't have a basement, get to the center part of your house. We always want to remind you of that. And if you've got time, you know, mobile home, a great affordable housing, but you don't want to be there in a tornado warning, and maybe go to a site-built structure, something like a local business that is well built. That could help you out and keep you safe. Let's pull the view out and get our bearings on us a little bit. If you're just joining us, we're breaking into what is typically our sports show tonight, and we had this tornado warning. That's why we're in right now, but there's a big line of storms here, and I was just going to get our bearings. There's Kansas City. We have showers and thunderstorms moving in from the west, and these will be coming in rather quickly. We'll say within the next half hour or so, especially on the west side of the metro. Not necessarily severe, though we may have some severe. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning. At one point, we did have a tornado warning with this cell. It's weakened dramatically now in Nottoway County, and now Gentry and Worth counties up here. That's where we have a thunderstorm warning. At one point was making 3-inch diameter hail. It's come down a lot. You could have some 60-mile-per-hour winds and maybe some golf ball size hail up there. I'll get you a quick.
We do have reports too of golf ball sized hail in Nottoway County too.
In Nottoway?
Yes.
So that one cycled back up. Well,
Yes.
a little bit. Golf balls. It's certainly possible. So this is a severe thunderstorm. This is not a tornado warning any longer. It was earlier. So there's Nottoway County for you right here. These two cells, probably this one that's north of Maryville, looks a little stronger now. So that one could be headed toward Worth County. There's Gentry County, just showers and thunderstorms at the moment. So there's the metro. Let's put a loop on this. We see the showers and notice the lightning. All right, so if you are thinking of heading out right now, you can see the lightning that is well out ahead of these powerful storms. You get a big supercell like this one that's right here. Look at all the lightning it's making, and it can put it way out ahead of the rain. So lightning would be a threat there. The most concerning storm that we see right now is the one that's just north of Topeka with that tornado warning that goes into Douglas County. What's interesting here is we did have at one point this whole line south of this warning was severe. I mean, when we were on the 6 o'clock newscast, all of that was producing 60-mile-per-hour winds plus and large hail with it too. So that's coming down. So if you're in some of these, the rest of Douglas County and we get down into Franklin and Anderson counties, that severe threat is coming down. That's good news there. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that includes the Kansas City metro. I'll show you that in case you missed it previously. Where the storms are tracking now is where the atmosphere is most ripe to produce strong storms and the potential for tornadoes, and that's what we've seen here in the orange zone. If you're in the orange zone, that's a tornado watch until 11 p.m. For the metro and all the blue shaded counties that you see, that's a severe thunderstorm watch. As these do lose some steam marching east, they're coming, but they will be weak on a weakening trend. This goes until midnight, so that's what we'll see in our area. Okay, Melissa, let's go back to you. Do you have any updates on reports, anything else coming through on your end?
I do. They are still seeing, there are emergency managers still having some reports of the tornado that is just in portions of Shawnee County, so out of our viewing area at this time. But still, that tornado report was 2 miles north of US 24 on a K4. So still, we're watching this tornado warning as the rotation has not quite entered into our area at this time, but we are going to continue to monitor this as it continues to push towards the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. So downstream, we're going to be able to watch this for the areas of Douglas County, Franklin County, as well as portions of Johnson County if it continues to move towards the southeast. And I think that's all that I have for the tornado reports for our tornado warning.
Okay.
And I'm looking into the
Here, Melissa, let me put a track on this. Let's go back to the chroma as we've seen the storm now enter the rotating part of the storm. So you see the warning.
Okay.
Not everybody that's in the warning is seeing, the potential tornado right now. It's to give you some lead time. It's right there south of Meridian is where we'd have it. So let's check that out and see some towns that are in the path of this. It looks to be, there's some really strong winds right along Highway 24, but that's where the tornado would be. It's east of Soldier, almost due east, now into Jefferson County and moving. It was last east-southeast. Let me confirm that that's still the track with it at about 25. East at 20. It's slowed down a little bit. So let's see where this is headed next. I'm going to pull my view out here just a bit and get you some towns and some times. Right there, right on that county line, and east at about 20. Right there. Okay, so that would be Prairie Creek School, 657. You got about 10 minutes if you're in that general area. 706 Thompsonville, and then Perry at 713, also right there, if you know the area, Perry Elementary School. And Williamstown, this is past the warning time. That's at 721 for Williamstown for this potential tornado. I say potential because we still don't have confirmation from the National Weather Service, but we do have storm spotters that are saying that they saw this right along 24 or just north whenever it was near Soldier. It is now past Soldier. And we've got Lecompton and Tecumseh. Tecumseh, it's north of Tecumseh, so this is Jefferson. This is Douglas County. The northwestern little section here of Douglas County is included in that. The southwestern part of Johnson County, or not Johnson, of Jefferson County in Kansas. This is in Kansas. There's Meridian. That right there, south of Meridian. Let me get you the highway. That's K4. All right, so it's in K4. It's west of K237. Here's some other cities that are nearby as we take a closer peek. Lake Ridge here. Lake Ridge would be under the threat. West Shore, it may pass to the south of West Shore. It's going to pass to the south of Meridian. Here's what we got. Lakeside Village. That's K237. It's moving in that direction. It'd be there rather soon. And then there's Thompsonville is next that we have. So I'm way zoomed in. Warren, what do you have for me?
Yeah, so we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning, but I don't want to discount that because they put a destructive tag with it. And so this is actually on the lower edge of the tornado warning here. So that's still going to be just for Douglas County, the western part of Douglas County here until 7:15. But put that destructive tag on is they have reports already of 80 to almost 90 mile per hour wind gusts, straight line winds with this. So if we pause our reflectivity here and I go into our velocity product here, we are going to watch on that kind of lower edge of the tornado warning, even for some strong straight line winds potentially out on the southern edge of this. So you get some real bright reds in here, and that is likely the radar picking up on some winds coming potentially out of that parent thunderstorm where the tornado warning is. It's hard to tell because everything is getting kind of clustered together. So right on the edge here of the western edge of Douglas County, that's where we're going to watch some of these significantly strong wind gusts come in. And again, that is warned for up to 80 miles per hour. That's not often we get severe thunderstorm warnings at that caliber, and that actually could equate to a low-end tornado. So still watching for destructive winds on the low edge of that, and I'll give you one more reminder of where that is. Again, that's going to be in the western quadrant here of Douglas County. So that is something that we also need to watch, and also just frequent lightning here with this cell. So a couple different spots worth noting, Luke.
Thank you, Warren. All right, let's go to Melissa now. Melissa, let's see if you have any updates on reports coming through on your end. Where is this coming out of?
This is out of Topeka. So as one of our reporters, Samantha, was out at the state capitol, this was looking west as this was moving over for that tornado warned storm that we have been talking about over the last couple of 20 minutes or so. So they have been taking shelter, I have been told. So you could see very ominous clouds in the background, a lot of lightning as well starting to just enter. I think this is looking west? If I could get any info. We're not sure if it's looking west, but as this continues to push past, I assume this is looking towards the east because the storms are passing at this point. This looks like it's going to be the back half of that storm. A lot of lightning with this, as well as that potential for the tornado as we're seeing radar indicated rotation. There's been a couple of reports as well. This is what we're looking at as it continues to move downstream into portions of our area. And it actually just looks like now we have that black box around our tornado warning for that. So I do want to pull back up too, because now it looks like we have confirmed reports. The National Weather Service has confirmed this tornado warning. Let me take the lightning off, but just look at the sheer amount of lightning too with this storm moving through the area. A lot of heavy rain, that lightning as well. I'll take off our lightning so we can get a better look at.
Hey, Melissa.
Too. Yes.
I'm going to take back over. We're going to put a fresh track on that now that we've got it warned, confirmed rather. It's been warned. Let's see where it is. So it looks like it's just west of Perry. So this is extreme southern, southwestern Jefferson County. Tornado would be right there. So it's going to be to the southwest of, there's Oskaloosa, there's Highway 24. This is 59. It's west of 59, just north of 24. And that's where it would be. And it's showing itself well on radar. We've got confirmation. People have seen this thing, and the National Weather Service now says that it is indeed a confirmed tornado. Let me put the warning on it here and just see if they've updated that, and I'm going to get you a fresh track, okay? So this goes now, it's slowing down. Every time I check in, it's gone down 5 miles per hour. It's moving east at 15. And last, it was confirmed 2 miles northwest of Grantville. So let's put a track on this for you. There's our latest scan coming in there. There's another little spot there by Lecompton that just showed up. Sometimes that happens. You can get what are called satellite tornadoes. So east at 15, it's gone slower. So that would put it right there. So that'd be Thompsonville, 704. That'd be Medina at 707, Perry 710. Perry, you keep popping up here. If you're in Perry, you need to be in your safe spot. This thing's confirmed, and a tornado moving in your general direction. That'd be 718 in Williamstown. That is just past our warning. Our warning goes until 7:15. That's the way it stands right now. Beyond the warning, some other areas that just an early heads up outside of that actual warning would be the Dean School area, Buck Creek at 725, and Sunnyside School at 728. So let's zoom back in, and I'll show you again. Let me pull my view up a little bit. And if you're just joining us, the reason why we're on is a confirmed tornado in Jefferson County in Kansas. And the warning also includes northwestern Douglas County right here. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence is not in it. Along I-70, it looks like the rotation's just north. See a little something there by Perry as well. Got to keep tabs on that. There is a little something that's trying to pop up there by Lecompton. If I were in Lecompton, you're at the very edge. The warning is right there. Treat that little circulation right there. You're in the warning, and we see 2 areas of circulation, all right? So even though I just put a track on this, we're going to treat that too like that could be a tornado as well. That's just south of Highway 24 around Lecompton, another area of rotation that we are seeing. Let's see some other towns in here. This is 59, Highway 59, Thompsonville. It's just west of Thompsonville. Here's West Shore. This is K237. It's east or just barely east of K4 and southeast of Meridian. And there's Grover. Okay, Warren, let's go over to you. Let's see what you've got. I know that we have a city cam shot that we want to show.
Yeah, looks like we're going to go ahead and take some pictures that we had, I believe, or maybe even some video.
Oh, wow.
Oh, looks like behind you, definitely a wall lowering, Luke.
Yeah.
I mean, depends on where we're at.
That could be like a beaver tail right there. So that would be the inflow into the storm. So this is a healthy storm. What that tells us is that line right there is air being flown up and sucked up into the storm. That looks like it could certainly be a lowering. Where is this out of, guys? This is out of Lawrence. This is our Lawrence cam. Okay. So you know what I think we're looking at here? I would imagine this might be that spot that we just showed you on radar that's around Lecompton. So from Lawrence, you would have a good vantage point of that. I'm not certain of this, but if we're in Lawrence and we're seeing this, that could certainly, because the other area of rotation is all wrapped up in rain. We would not have a good shot at this. But out ahead in some clearing, right on the edge of the rain, is around Lecompton, that might be it. So we're seeing rotation on radar. We're seeing this with our live images. This is, again, out of Lawrence. That could be another area that may be able to produce a tornado. The warning officially is for a different section of the storm, but we see that, and we know that it's spinning, it at least is rotating. It's too far out to see if anything's there. It doesn't look like there is. You just saw the lightning pop up on that. So this is a whole cell that's wanting to spin. All right, Warren, let's go back to you. What do you have?
Yeah, so that was rotating a rotating wall cloud, Luke. So we'll get back to that. There are reports of that rotating. So we're going to go ahead and just look at a downed tree outside of the Capitol. This was from Samantha Boring, one of our reporters. So this cell is the one that went through Topeka and is now in our parts of Jefferson and Douglas counties. So definitely need to take this seriously. Even some straight line winds out of that as well. So yeah, well, let's go back over to Luke.
Hey, we got a new tornado warning. This one is now including Lawrence. So there's Lawrence right there. Lawrence now under a tornado warning. So northern Douglas County, all of northern Douglas County is under a tornado warning. Also, all of southern Jefferson County with this. That's it. That's what we just saw. The circulation jumped. It went from one parent rotation to another area, and the new dominant circulation has jumped to Lecompton. I believe that's what we saw from Lawrence as we were looking to the northwest at that. So a new tornado warning. Let's see what the warning is on this, how fast it's moving, and what the reports are coming in on. So this is until 7:30. There's a live picture. This one's coming out of where, guys? This is still our Lawrence cam. We're not seeing that lowering that we had just a moment ago, but the storms move quickly, one, and two, we're moving the camera around. So this goes till 7:30. That's about 32 minutes left. Fresh tornado warning there. and it's moving east at 30. So let's see what this will do and what towns are included in this. So right around Lecompton. Lecompton, you have a possible tornado. This one's going 30, so some of them are going faster than others. So some of these areas are going to be outside the warning as we go at 30. So Lecompton right now essentially. Williamstown, you would be next at 7:06. 7:12 would be Buck Creek, and 7:24 for Bismarck Grove. After that, we are outside of the warning area right now, but Eudora, DeSoto, Baser, and Bonner Springs, this is a tornado warned storm that is moving in that area. So early heads up for you. If you're in the first half of this list, take your tornado precautions now, as we could see this drop at any point if it's not already. From our camera, we couldn't confirm that. So let's take a closer peek here and give you a better idea of some areas, some towns that may be right in the path of this. So there's Williamstown right there. This is 59, Highway 59. Looks like it's just to the southwest of the 5924 where those two meet. Looks like it's right around Perry or Lecompton. Strong rotation there. Warren, I see what you just brought up with CC,
Omega.
with a debris tracker. Or do you
that's-
have, oh, that's over
Melissa's
you,
got that.
Melissa. Let's go to Melissa, as she may be able to spot this with our debris tracker. Let's see what you have.
This is our debris tracker. Warren had discussed earlier what it is. It just picks up pieces of leaves, debris that is being lofted into the air. So if I pause this out, we're looking at the Lecompton area. We could see a little bit of that lighter color. Oops, let me pause this here. Now, a little bit of that lighter color towards the Lecompton area, as that was where we're watching that potential rotation. And the other rotation was farther to the southwest as well. I do want to look too, is that the secondary rotation that we have been looking at?
It may have been. It's tough to tell from the
Yes.
debris tracker. It's probably that little spot that you see. We don't know that there's a tornado
Yes.
there, but if there were, it'd be further south, closer to Lecompton.
Okay, that's
most
what
likely. So that could be the old one, or it could just be clutter. We're not sure.
Yes.
We're not certain.
So we're still looking at some lowering in those correlation coefficient radar responses with this. So still, as we saw that several places have seen the tornado, make sure you're getting in your tornado safe place in Lecompton, eventually down towards the Lawrence area, as well as we are seeing lowering of that debris tracker, so lowering in the values with that as well.
Maybe,
to show,
yeah.
yes.
We're just not sure. It's just one thing that we look at, and sometimes you can spot stuff. Is there a tornado there? This is a radar indicated tornado.
Yes.
And if we see that pop up, and it looked like it may have been just one thing to check as we analyze and diagnose these storms.
Yeah.
So let's get our bearings again, because we do have storms entering the west side of the metro. I want to highlight that these right now are just thunderstorms. We don't have any severe warnings for the metro. We do have a severe warning up here. This is Gentry and Worth counties, and also Nottoway County, severe thunderstorm warning there. It's not rotating. That's a decaying storm. That one's weakening. So let's get back in. If you're on the west side of the metro, even if you're on the east side of the metro, you're getting lightning way out ahead of the storms. None of that is severe, but not far away. And in Douglas County, in Jefferson County, we have a tornado warning right now. And we also have a significant threat from this area to its south that at one point was producing up to 80 to 90 mile per hour winds. We ought to check on that too, because that could be over a larger area. I want to go to our Doppler winds and see if that's still there, because you can see that that warning now has been passed by the storm. So they did not extend that, but we want to see what Lawrence is getting into. And also look at the swirl here. You see that swirl? You see the hook? That hook there is very pronounced on the southern side of Jefferson County. That is strong rotation. Whenever you see the storm actually wrapping all that rain around it, you get this little donut hole right there. Let's investigate this. All right, there we go. Yep, it's a strong looking storm as far as rotation goes. I do not currently see super strong winds from that earlier severe thunderstorm with 80 to 90 mile per hour winds. I highlight that because you can get tornado level damage with 80 to 90 mile per hour winds. It's why I got into meteorology. It blew a building down that I was in. But that does not look to be the case right now toward Lawrence. Wow, around Lecompton, that is strong. Let's get back to that. Okay, so right along the county line between Jefferson and northern Douglas County, decent chance there's a tornado there. Let's put the warning back on just in case they do confirm that it's there. And we'll go to Warren next. Do we have a new warning? No, that's okay. So this is the same warning, goes till 7:30. Looks like it's right near or just south of 24. There's Lecompton. Lawrence is included in this tornado warning. There we go. Buck Creek, you're next. Buck Creek would be the next in line for this strong area of rotation. It'll be there within about 5 or 10 minutes. So it's going to run kind of right east along 24. This right here, I believe, is 59. That's to the north. Yeah, that's Highway 59. So it's right about where those two meet, essentially Lecompton and then Buck Creek on an east track at about 30 miles per hour. Warren, we getting anything over there coming in on reports?
Yes, so just wanted to say a few things. Tightening near Williamstown right now. That last scan really just came through with some bright reds away from the radar there. So still strong circulation here, also on the Douglas County line. So this is exactly, we have confirmed reports of tightening and lowering, but nothing confirmed on the ground just yet. So that is very worth watching. We've seen how quickly this atmosphere can drop tornadoes, and this is not right now, but this is just from a minute ago near Wamego, and so this was right before Topeka. This is the same cell, and it did go ahead and drop. I think we're going to show you a picture here of a tornado that did touch down. So again, the environment's there. It's this specific cell. It has a history of tornadoes, not one on the ground we think at this moment, but we do think there could be one here very shortly. So we're going to keep a close eye on reports. I do want to note this is a dangerous storm also because we have a lot of rain and lightning around with this as well. There might be a little bit of a dry slot on the back edge here, but this is going to be very hard to see, likely have some sheets of rain around it as well. So just another challenge when you're tracking a storm like this, Luke.
Yeah, that's a big area of potentially 70-mile-per-hour winds now. You get kind of a bow segment. And south of this storm, the one that's got all the spin right there, that I do believe at this point, if it continues on its current track, Lawrence, you're in the warning. It looks like it may stay north of Lawrence. I'll put a loop on it here for you in a second. But that big area of wind, so there's a severe thunderstorm warning that takes over the rest of Douglas County and then goes into northeastern Franklin County. Could get some big winds in Centropolis and Baldwin City, places like that. Just know that that is not your typical severe thunderstorm warning where you get some gusty winds to 60 and you lose a few branches. It could actually cause some damage from straight line winds. Here's the rotation. Every scan we're checking out. Warren just had us around Williamstown. It's generally in that same spot right now. If there is a tornado, that's where it would be. We did have a cam coming in out of Lawrence. If we can pull that back up and just give a visual, is that what we have in the tube box? Is that the Lawrence cam? So it's raining there very hard right now as we check that out. We lost the ability to see this. At one point, we actually saw the rotating wall cloud with this storm, and now we can no longer do that because it's just raining too hard. Let's go back and see. So we were tracking this. That was the reason why we had the initial tornado warning that at one point was confirmed, and then let's go back a little bit further, and then it switched and a new circulation developed out ahead of it. See how these two split? They split from the north to the south right around Lecompton, and this one's been heading east or just barely east-southeast. It would be right there. Here's Lawrence. If it continues on that track, if you kind of follow my arm, then that would likely miss Lawrence, but it is on the southern side of that warning in Lawrence. The rest of northeastern Douglas County included in that. Buck Creek would be the next spot. Let's get a fresh track. Every time that these update, we want to highlight where it would be and let you know where it's going next. So there we go at about 25. Might be a hair faster than that. They've been bouncing around a bit. Buck Creek, 712. It is 7:07. You've got 4 minutes in Buck Creek before this will be on your doorstep. Get to your safe spot. Then Lawrence Municipal, potentially, if it were to go that way, regardless, that's still strong winds on the south side, so we could get some really strong winds to move through Lawrence. The rotating part of the storm may miss them to the north. That'd be 722, and then 737 for Fall Leaf. That's past the time of the tornado warning. That goes until 7:30. We've got 23 minutes left of that. And then past that, Tonganoxie will be watching these areas out ahead, but to give you an early heads up, Tonganoxie, 7:38, Linwood at 7:44, and 7:52 in Lexington. So that's the latest with this tornado warning. Let's get back to Warren. Warren, what do you have going on over there?
Why don't you stay? It looks like that might have just gone confirmed.
It did.
Yes.
We've got the black box
stay
now.
on that for now.
Okay, yeah, confirmed. Now it's a confirmed tornado. Do we know why? Has anybody had a report that came in of what we had seen? In fact, okay, Melissa, go ahead and tell us.
Emergency management in Williamstown had reported a rain-wrapped tornado.
Okay.
There have also been reports now of 2-inch hail near Williamstown as well.
Yeah, makes sense why it took so long, you know, with it wrapping itself in rain. We saw the thing look like a donut on regular radar. So this warning goes till 7:30. It is now confirmed, and we have a tornado and an extension of a severe thunderstorm warning that now includes the Kansas City metro too. So I'll get to that momentarily. First, I'll do the tornado warning. Then we're going to go to the Kansas City Metro with a new severe thunderstorm warning that overtakes the 435 loop. There's the 435 loop. It's for the western part of Kansas City. More on that in a moment. But while this is confirmed and we just got some new information, let's see where this is. It looked like it was right over Williamstown is where the report came in. It has since likely moved just east of Williamstown, probably just east of 59, Highway 59, and there's 24. It's somewhere just east of Williamstown. Buck Creek, be in your safe spot right now. The tornado is moving towards your direction, and next in line it's going to be going through the eastern section of Jefferson County, southeastern Jefferson County, and northeastern potentially Douglas County. So that's the latest there. Let's see what's going on with this severe thunderstorm warning. Warren, do you want to take this?
Yep, absolutely. So you probably just got alerted on your phones if you're here in the metro, but this severe thunderstorm warning is massive. It covers Johnson on the Kansas side, Leavenworth, Platte, and Wyandotte counties, especially northern Johnson and pretty much all of Wyandotte, and then a good chunk of Leavenworth. The reason that this was put out considerable, that's a very dangerous storm, high wording, because there could be up to, let me make sure I get this right, tennis ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds with this cell. It's all a part of a big cluster here that does have the tornado warning, but the actual storm has a couple other features that we need to watch closely, like hail cores. So this is all moving closer to the metro. It's pretty slow right now, so that's actually going to stay in effect until 7:45. That is still over 35 minutes because of the slow-moving nature of this. But those of you in these warned areas, if you can, cover your cars, bring them into the garage, find a parking structure if you're in the city, things like that, because we do have a very dangerous other part with that tornado warning that we don't want to discount. And there's already been up to 2-inch size hail reported with this, and we think it is still going to continue as it gets closer to that state line in the Missouri River and maybe even Kansas City. So that's the update with that new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go back to that tornado warning.
Okay, well, while we've got that, so our tornado warning still confirmed. There's our black box. See, it just got trimmed a little bit. They're continuing with a confirmed tornado warning until 7:30, but it did get trimmed. So some people are out of that. I just wanted to highlight the hail. There's our hail core. It is not yet in the warning, but we could have tennis ball size hail. This is a very powerful supercell thunderstorm, and it will track to the east. As it does, it could have some big hail moving into this zone with this severe thunderstorm warning for the Kansas City Metro. Portions of the central, really western portions of the Kansas City Metro. Back to our tornado warning. As we just saw this update and trimmed, I'm going to turn lightning off and zoom in on where it most likely is. I mean, these things update as far as the location constantly. So we need to keep close tabs on that. Let's see where it is. Buck Creek, it'd be right about Buck Creek, maybe just north. Buck Creek's getting some really strong winds regardless. The tornado may just be north barely. It's right there. I'd say it's just about 3 or 4 miles northeast of Buck Creek. So this would be in southeastern Jefferson County. I do not see rotation in Douglas County. Lawrence, this is going to miss Lawrence. You're in the warning in Lawrence. You're going to get some rough weather in Lawrence. We have the hail and the high wind potential there, but the rotation is going to stay to your north from the way that it looks right now. I do not see this tracking. Let's put the warning back on. There it is. So we've got a little narrow sliver right now left of this warning. Let's see who's out of it. If you can see us in some of these spots, sometimes it's good to know when you're done. Williamstown apparently had it drop in that spot. Perry and Lecompton, you're out of it as well. We have another, that must be the old tornado warning that's back behind it, or I'm losing radar with this one. So that was our old warning, and then this was the new one as we track this to the east. Just trying to keep my bearings straight. So those are the places that are out of it. Out ahead of it, Tonganoxie is not in a warning. Here's Tonganoxie right here. This is where the tornado would be. If it were to continue, that would be the next spot that may get a warning. We don't have that now, but we're watching that very closely. So let's get a fresh track there. We just saw our latest scan update.
I have a track over here too.
Go ahead.
If we
yeah,
take
what do
a
you
look
have?
at this. So we talked about Tonganoxie around 7:32, Tonganoxie Middle School. While we are not in the warning, if you are in Tonganoxie, we are likely going to see this continue to move towards the east around 25 miles per hour at 7:40 in the Linwood area, 7:49 in DeSoto. So please be getting in your tornado safe place as we are still seeing the radar indicated rotation. There have been reports of this tornado as well, confirmed tornado at this time as it continues to move north just of, as what we had said, should be the Williamston area, still north, continuing to move towards to the to the east around 25 miles per hour. So 732 in the Tonganoxie Middle School area, 740 in Linwood, 749 in DeSoto. So please be making sure you're getting in your tornado safe place as this storm continues to encroach to the east around 25 miles per hour. Luke, back
Thank
to
you, Melissa. Yeah, thank you. All right, so let's hit this severe thunderstorm warning again. Some of you just tuning in. We've had the tornado warning. That is in southeastern Jefferson County, northeastern Douglas County. Out ahead of that, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. So it's kind of one big complex, but this is packing a punch. And as you look to the east here, let me see if I can turn the radar off even here for just a second. And you can see a massive severe thunderstorm warning here. It goes essentially from Leavenworth to Bonner Springs to Olathe and on the west side of the Kansas City Metro. Let's see exactly kind of where it ends. It's mainly on the KCK side, though it does get up into Parkville. So you're under the warning too. Not everybody in here will get severe weather. This is a zone. South of Platte City, Parkville, Leavenworth, Shawnee, Overland Park, all some communities that are included in this. DeSoto, Bonner Springs, Tonganoxie with this, and it has potential for big, big hail and really high winds. So let's see what the winds look like for that section rather than the rotating part of the storm. And it's not showing up very well here, but we could have 70-mile-per-hour winds out of this. Let's get to the hail. The hail's probably back behind, so we just saw that the rotation is right about here. So the hail's lagging back behind that, and that's what could follow. So if that rotating part of the storm even dissipates, the hail could still follow with it for a while, which is why we continue with that severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go, if the mobile storm tracker is available or our Lawrence cam, if we can look at this, because it is north of Lawrence. Last we checked, you really couldn't see much out of it because it was just pouring in Lawrence. Let's see what we have there. Yeah, we've got a shot. You can see it there. It looked like it broke up a little bit around Lawrence. There's our mobile storm tracker. We have Betsy Webster. She is out tracking the storms with us, and she has been in the general Leavenworth area, which is in the severe thunderstorm warning. We're in Bonner Springs now. Okay, she is now in Bonner Springs, also included in the severe thunderstorm warning. She's going to be out there tracking all of this for us as we monitor these storms. They're moving into the metro as we speak. We have rain coming into the metro. We have lightning as well. Not severe weather yet, but we do have the warning, and it's coming in. It's coming in pretty quickly. In fact, around Bonner Springs right now, you can see it's starting to pick up. It's more heavy. The severe portion is out to the west. Okay, Warren, let's go to you. It looks like maybe we have an update with this tornado warning. What do you have?
Yeah, they're definitely messing with the polygon here a little bit. So it just went back to the red outline, which is a good sign. That means nothing confirmed at the moment. But it's a really small polygon here, the tornado box. So I don't know if they're going to go ahead and extend it or not. There's not any rumblings of that yet, but everything looks at least pretty broad. The rotation, it doesn't have that tight couplet as good as we would like to see for something to be lowering out of the parent thunderstorm, but still nonetheless, the entire parent thunderstorm is rotating. So the mesocyclone, what we call it here, is definitely, there's still good rotation with it, but I don't have anything, any reports that it is on the ground, anything like that. So we'll see. The biggest question is the Weather Service going to extend this to include parts of Leavenworth County or not. So that's kind of the next thing.
Yeah, I don't think they will. In fact, let me show you why. That warning's got another 15 minutes on it. It's about to cross out of the warning zone. I'll put the warning on for you so you can see that. And then the rotating part of the storm is going to be past it. So where we see the rotation is right there. That's extreme southeastern Jefferson County. Here's Leavenworth County. There's Tonganoxie. Now, rotation's not far from you, but they probably would have extended that warning, they being the National Weather Service. But if I show you how much it seems to be winding down. It's no longer a confirmed tornado. Look at the bright colors. It's pretty easy to spot. When this thing was around Lecompton, it was wrapped up. That was a strong rotation signal on radar. Now let's go forward in time. You can see it broadens. And it'd be kind of difficult for a storm to produce a tornado with that broad and weakening rotation. Not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying that we do see that trend downward. And that may be why we don't have warnings extending toward Tonganoxie and Leavenworth County. So that's a quick little analysis there. But if there were something there, we do still have the tornado warning. It would be right on the Jefferson and Leavenworth County line. Looks like they're probably just going to roll this into that severe thunderstorm warning, and that's the one that moves into the metro. Okay, so I'll zoom this out even a little bit further. There's our latest scan, see if anything's new there. Nothing new. It really hasn't even moved much. Then it will be the hail threat and the high wind threat, and that tornado threat would be diminishing. So we need to monitor the reports closely and see what the Weather Service is saying about this. In the meantime, we had a camera earlier. Let's go up to about maybe our Nebraska Furniture Mart cam, if you guys grab that, just kind of see what's moving into the metro as we speak. We had some wild looking mammatus clouds out there earlier. Then that's a sign that severe weather could be moving in. Now you see an intense downdraft. That's really heavy rain that these storms are packing. We've seen a lot of really heavy rain lately. We do have a flood watch for some counties in southern portions of the coverage area, not for most of us. Look at the lightning. Wow, it's just putting on a show. So nasty storms. I'm not saying, again, everybody's going to see severe weather, but some of us likely will. This is why we have an active warning over portions of the main Kansas City metro. Extends from Leavenworth to Olathe. Okay, let's go over to Melissa. Melissa, what do you have over there? Let's talk about these watches and how long they go.
Yes, so we have the tornado watch for our many of our Kansas side counties, as well as portions of our Northwest. That continues until 11 p.m. That's highlighted in that orange area. As for the Kansas City metro area, we are in that severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. So what's happening is this line of rain and storms, that severe weather pushing through the area, losing some of the ingredients as it continues to push towards the southeast, as it heads into portions of the Kansas City metro, as well as portions of central Missouri and north central Missouri as well. So the severe thunderstorm watch continues until midnight tonight, as the storms are going to continue to push towards the east southeast through the area as well. So as we continue to see them move towards the east southeast, we can start to see them lose some of that severe weather juice. Mainly that tornado threat at this time is for those areas in that tornado watch, which at this point the severe thunderstorm watch does include the Kansas City metro, Harrisonville, Butler, up to Chillicothe, as well as the Lexington area. So as we take a look at kind of a wider range of what's going on, if we take a broader look, we've got this broken line of rain and storms. We have some severe thunderstorms towards our northern counties and Nottoway and Holt County towards the north. But still, we see that heavy rain along with this, a lot of lightning, as well as this is just starting to encroach too on the 435 loop towards the Kansas City metro. So if we take a closer look at this too, we take a broader view, we are starting to see lightning into the Kansas City area, and just that heavier rain, lightning, as well as that severe thunderstorm-borne storm pushing in now to around the west side of the 435 loop. So that's kind of a broader range. We have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect until midnight tonight, as this line of rain and storms continues to push toward the east, southeast, excuse me. And so packing a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain as well. And we do now at this time just have that kind of cluster of those warnings just west of the Kansas City area into portions of Douglas County. And Luke, I'll send it over to you.
Thanks, Melissa. Hey, we have a picture of a tornado earlier. If we have that ready to go, we can pull that up. There we go. Now, exactly where is this? This is in Perry, okay? This is just south of Perry, where we had a confirmed tornado. So there's the picture of it. That was one today. We've actually had a number of them. Another that came in was reports out of Williamstown. Let's go to Warren, and he's showing you the radar behind him of what it looked like when it went through Williamstown, where we had a confirmed tornado, and you've got reports of what kind of damage may have occurred there.
So this was our velocity product right around 7:05, and we really got a bright hot spot here right over Williamstown, and that was a good indication that either there was a tornado on the ground immediately right here, or some really strong wind gusts out of it. So the emergency management from Jefferson County is reporting, quote, poles and trees and power lines down all over Williamstown. And so that looks like, let's just take a little bit of a closer look here at Williamstown, and that's going to be Highway 24 and the intersection of 59. So there are reports. We don't have any pictures or eyes there yet. I'm sure some will come in, but we do have a good, likely quite a bit of damage around Williamstown as well. And so please, travel safely around, especially with power poles down, power lines down, and trees. That creates a very dangerous situation. So if you are around Williamstown, hunker down for now. Let crews clean all that up first before you get out and about. So that was just a report that came in. We're likely going to see more as the rain in this part of the county starts to subside a little bit. I also just want to take you to the north real quick. We don't want to forget about you in Worth County. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm also that is hugging the state state line between Missouri and Iowa. You can see that hail core near Parnell. That is a significant hail core, likely dropping potentially up to, I believe, golf ball or even ping pong ball size hail. But I think that that could potentially have more within it as well. So that is something that we need to be, oh, excuse me, I'm going to actually go back because I think that it just got significantly stronger. And so let's read the latest with that. It's until 8 o'clock, and it is going to be for tennis ball size hail. Significant tennis ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And so that's in the kind of western part of Worth County there, right on the Worth County line and Nottoway County line. Parnell, if you, once the storm passes by, if you did have confirmation of hail like that, please send it our way. Grant City, you're going to be in this path of this specific storm, Highway 169. So tennis ball size hail, incredibly dangerous as well. Luke, just another factor of these storms, large hail, and of course rotation.
Yeah, they're backing a punch tonight. Hey, let's go back to this warning that we have. Let's go up here and look at the hail that we have on this storm that's up to the north. I'll look at the hail. I mean, we're looking at some big stuff here. So let's see what our hail tracker is putting out. So it's right around Parnell. You can see our scale here. How whenever it turns pink, you're looking at potentially 3-4 inch hail. Let's see what our computer is estimating right now. Probably baseballs with that. Yeah, that'd be about baseball size hail. And also, I want to highlight something else. As we get back closer to the metro, we have our own severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're in northern sections or western sections rather of Worth County, big hail moving in. It's going to be moving toward Grant City. Now let's pull our view out a little bit. This is still my hail product because you're probably wondering in the metro, what are we going to be dealing with? We have our severe thunderstorm warning. Hail is now moving into the Tonganoxie area. That's it right there. The biggest stuff is to the west, but that's tracking eastward. So Tonganoxie and then Bonner Springs along I-70. It's a long way from the metro right now. We have the warning that goes until 7:45. But hail is on the track to the east along I-70. Speaking of I-70, we have our mobile storm tracker out. Betsy Webster, she's moving east along I-70, and she's in, where is she again? Can you tell me that, Rhett? Okay, she's in 435 on the Kansas side. This is what she's seeing there. And she's in the rain. She's got the storms around. She's in the warning. We do have the warning there. That's a full picture for you as she's driving around on 435. Getting by okay right now, but it's going to be picking up as we move through the next half hour with this storm moving through. And some of us are going to get some hail. Some of us are going to get some high winds. The threat level with this severe thunderstorm warning is rather high. It is a considerable threat, and I say considerable because if I show you the warning, that's wording from the National Weather Service. It does say tornado possible. I'm going to highlight the tornado threat here in just a minute because I actually think that has dissipated. We had the warning. The warning is still active. I'll show you that here. It's right there. You see that red box still north of Lawrence? I'll get to that in a moment. But the considerable tag here is the storm has a history of rotating. We don't see that as a big threat right now if you're in this yellow box. But also golf ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts within this. Now, typically where you get your highest winds will be right at a leading edge of this kind of segment here around Bonner Springs, probably out ahead of Tonganoxie, though there's a big core of the storm right there. There could be a secondary batch right through there. I'll kick the hail off and we'll get back to just the radar, and then I'll see if I can spot anything on winds. So it might be right about there, right around Tonganoxie where some of the highest winds are. There's the tornado warning still showing up on our maps here. It actually got extended until 7:30, but if I zoom in on this, we'll look at the tornado and the rotation threat. It looks like it has moved out of the actual box. So let me put the box back on, the tornado warning box, and if there were any tornado, it would be somewhere in here, and it's broad. So I don't see that this is any longer a big threat. That would warrant a new warning if the National Weather Service thought that were tight enough rotation to produce a tornado. They're not doing that now. We do still see some broad rotation, not tornado warning, but this is a strong part of the storm. Around Tonganoxie, you're probably getting hammered pretty hard. Could get some of that 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and the hail is moving in towards you as well. So when we last checked that, it was moving in, but yeah, see, let's see what we're getting in Tonganoxie right now with the hail.
We do have some reports of hail, dime-sized hail in Tonganoxie right now.
Yeah, that
Yes.
matched about what we just saw on our radar, so it's a good report. Anything else coming through there, Melissa?
What did you say, Luke? I'm
Anything
sorry.
else coming in on your reports?
We do have some indication of some very heavy rainfall. So in portions of Leavenworth County, anywhere between 2 to 3 inch rainfall rates. So we talked about very heavy rainfall, damaging winds, as well as hail with this. So it's something that we're going to have to look out for, as flash flooding could be possible as this storm continues to move it towards the east through the Leavenworth area and eventually through portions of the Kansas City metro as well. So dime-sized hail around the Tonganoxie area, as well as heavy rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour in the Leavenworth area right now. So that's the latest reports that I have at this time. Luke, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Good stuff, appreciate that. All right, so back to the metro, and let's get a track kind of on when you can expect the storms in your area. I'm going to try to highlight where the severe portion of the storms are. You're going to get rain and probably lightning. You know, lightning's out ahead of the rain on this. We've had lightning strikes like 15, 20 miles out ahead of the parent rain. But this right here would be the severe portion of it, okay? So just northwest of Bonner Springs. It's not one spot, kind of snakes its way down to Baldwin City, but I'll stop right there at the warning. That would be the leading edge of a severe portion of the storm, and I'll move that eastward. This thing's been moving. Let's see what the latest speed is with this kind of cluster. Moving east at 45. So this one's moving faster than our tornado warning was, and I'll just kind of draw the leading edge of this and run it eastward at about 45 miles per hour. So it's a fast mover. She's coming in quick. Let's get you some towns. All right, so DeSoto, this is for the threat for wind. The hail's a little bit further behind this. So DeSoto, that would be 731. Shawnee, that'd be 739. So the warning goes till 745. That puts it in KCK. So this may be there by about 745 in KCK. It's 729 now, roughly 15 minutes. It's potential that you could get some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Also, Kansas City, Missouri, that'd be about 750 as it crosses over. Now we're at Arrowhead Stadium. We're beyond the range of the current warning, but just so you know, that'd be about 5 till 8. And that point, then Raytown, if this thing holds together, that'd be just a little bit after 8 o'clock on its current track. These do adjust. Sometimes they speed up and slow down. That's what we saw earlier with the tornado warning. Now let's get back to the hail. The tornado warning dropped. You just see, let me go back to this. Tornado warning is now gone. There you go. So we had it right there, and it just got pulled. Okay, so we're showing you a live cam. Where's our live cam out of? What's that? Okay, this is our Legends cam. We had some really wild shots out of there earlier as we watched the storms from a distance, and the skies got angry. We got these mammatus clouds that you only get during severe weather, and now they're getting some heavy rain moving through the Legends area. So that would be kind of on the leading edge of this potentially strong part of this storm as it's marching its way to the east. So right around Bonner Springs, Shawnee, kind of work our way north a little bit. There's Parkville, there's Bethel. This right now is rain. This over here is heavier rain, and right out ahead of it, you can get some really gusty winds. Are we getting any reports of that coming in, Warren? Now that this thing is moving closer to the metro, I would expect that we see more reports coming in of hail or high wind gusts, maybe some power lines, anything like that.
Yeah, so it actually seems like most of the significant hot spots where we see the really strong winds coming out of are actually throttling back for now. You know, we still want to, this is still a very strong thunderstorm, but as it gets closer to the state line, we have seen a few signs of some of the weakening. But one thing I do want to show you as we just survey this large cluster of little cells here, there are over 200 lightning strikes, especially within the strongest part of the storm over the heart of Leavenworth County, just to the south of Leavenworth. Bonner Springs, a significant amount of lightning all the way down to Lawrence on 70 and kind of eastern Douglas County, western Johnson County. You're going to have really heavy part of this thunderstorm and strong gusts, and also just some really heavy rain and frequent lightning with this. I do want to actually take a closer look in on the area of rotation that we did have and see how it's doing right now. So this was the rotation that was really strong north of 70 near Williamstown. We do have reports of damage to houses, things like that, trees, power lines down near Williamstown in far southern Jefferson County. And as we drag this was at 7:09. You can see that tight couplet there. But as we drag this now over 20 minutes later, the actual rotation It's broad and it's over just to the north of Tonganoxie here. So this is the spot that we'll be watching north of Tonganoxie. Here's Kansas 16 from McLouth. And this is going to be that favorable area. If it's going to maybe cycle again, that's where we need to keep an eye on. So really everything that I've seen so far has just been from the southern part of Jefferson County for damage. And so we'll watch for some more pictures and reports.
Okay, thank you, Warren. Good stuff. Melissa, if you would, whenever, I'm going to come to you in a bit, and we can let people know when we expect this to be out, so maybe we could show the HRRR, something like that. In the meantime, we had a picture out of Tonganoxie of the hail that moved through. So there you go. You've got 1-inch diameter hail. That is what we call quarter size. Might be ping pong. Looks like maybe it's ping pong ball size hail. That is now likely past Tonganoxie. I see the core of the storm. So this is the core of the storm. Our highest hail is going to be right about there, right just north or northeast of Tonganoxie. So if you're concerned about your car, you're concerned about hail, I think it's going to be moving more toward the baser area, and I'm going to show you our hail tracker and give you a better idea here in just a moment. This is the core of the storm as we see it now. This is also where Warren just had it highlighted for. There's just a little bit of twist in this storm. It's not much. It's not certainly not what it was whenever this was back in Jefferson County and threatened Douglas County, but it's still got a little something there. So this is the strongest part of this storm around Baser, probably just north of Tonganoxie, north of Highway 24, and making its way toward the 435 loop. So this is the 435 loop right here, and that would be the core as it moves east. Let's see what it looks like on our hail tracker. You can see the hail that went through Tonganoxie, and now it's moving toward Baser. And what will happen, the way that the hail tracker works, is it picks up on kind of light stuff first and then it fills in. It's not necessarily an immediate way to tell where the biggest hail is right now. It does have a bit of a lag, so we could certainly be having hail in Baser right now. We went through Tonganoxie. Let's see what we had there with the estimate. It was probably about, I'll pick right about here. It's probably about 1 inch, yeah, about an inch diameter hail. We're not seeing the super big hail out of this that we saw earlier. You know, 1 inch diameter hail, you don't want hitting your car for sure, but it's not the baseballs or apples that we had seen earlier. Earlier we had apples reported out of Atchison County. Was it Atchison? I believe it was Atchison County earlier today. You see the track though, that track is moving like this, so we do expect if this storm can maintain its strength, generally these will be on a weakening trend. Don't know what this one will do, but as it tracks along 70, it will drag that tail of hail and ice along with it. So that's why we have the warning for the Kansas City Metro. No current tornado warnings. We were on, let's get a broad view here and kind of check everything out. In fact, that is our lone severe thunderstorm warning. So here's a broad view. No, I'm telling you wrong. We've got still one that's up here in Worth County right there. This is a live picture. Is that our Legends cam again? That may be our Legends cam. This is our tower cam. So this is coming in from our tower cam, and you can see the dark skies, big heavy rain coming through. The thing about this line is it's going to be rather fast in and out, and whenever it's past you, your severe threat will be really winding down, if not completely done. That's our Legends cam that we have now. Legends had a rough day, a lot of strong storms. Still storms moving toward the Legends right now. I'm going to take a quick peek at this, and then Melissa, we're going to come to you and explain whenever our viewers, when do we expect to be all clear? When are we going to be done with this? So let's put a fresh track on the core and give you some ideas of when it's going to be in your area. So I'm going to do kind of a snaky line here. The snaky line is going to be all at the leading edge of that core. There's not necessarily one spot that is stronger than another, and we'll move it east. It's fast moving. Some of us will be outside of the official warning, but I want you to have a heads up. So Gardner, that's Gardner, Kansas, 736, Olathe, 745. We're at 736, Olathe. You got maybe about 10 minutes. That is enough time that if you needed to, you could pull your car in. Kansas City, Kansas, be 752. The Missouri side would be about 756. Grandview at 804 for the potential for some of the severe portions of this storm. Okay, Melissa, let's go over to you. When are we going to be done with this? What are you seeing?
Before we get to that, I do want to take a look at one more time our watches that we have right now. So we have the tornado watch until 11 p.m. That's highlighted in the orange. And then much of the Kansas City Metro is included in that severe thunderstorm watch until midnight tonight. And I do want to show, too, a wide view of our satellite and radar with the watches laid underneath, because we have been seeing a lot of rain and thunderstorms. There were several tornado warnings, several severe thunderstorm warnings in that tornado watch. However, we're starting to see some of these storms start to die down. So the juice for severe weather is a little bit less in portions of the severe thunderstorm watch at this time. And we can see over time, we have seen those thunderstorms start to weaken as we head towards the southeast. So now I want to track this out for you. Here we are. It's around 7:37 right now. So I started us out at 8 o'clock, just pushing past the metro as well as we continue through the evening. I think by the next hour, as we talked about, this is rather fast moving. I think by 9, 10 o'clock, 9:30 to about 10 o'clock, these storms should be making their way out of the area, out of our far southeastern counties, including the Warrensburg, as well as Clinton. And then eventually, I think as we head to the midnight hour, we're going to be clear, we're going to be quiet, and mainly quiet through the overnight hours as well. So here's kind of what our time for our storms will be done by. So much of our northwest is almost done around 8 p.m. Eventually by the metro, up towards the Bethany, Cameron, down towards Kansas City, the Paola, the Garnet area. Around 9 p.m. we're going to start to see these storms be fully out of the area. And then for southeastern areas, including Clinton, Warrensville, Marshall, these will be the last to see the storms move through and the last to see them exit. So we think around 11 p.m. is when we're going to see us be mainly in the all clear. I think by midnight tonight, we're going to be quiet. We're going to be resting easy as we head through the overnight hours tonight.
Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, not going to be staying up all night worried about storms. These will be in and out. Let's go to Warren. We've got a strong storm. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that's up in Worth County. Big hail with this. Last time we checked in, what do we have now?
Yeah, so there were reports of ping pong ball size hail, but they are warning the storm for tennis ball size hail. And if I stop it here, you can see the hail core. I mean, it's one cell that's surviving on its own, and it's just tapping into good ingredients. This is up near the Iowa state line, Worth County, northern Missouri, and that is going to be in effect until 8 o'clock. But you can see here actually maybe two hail cores, one just over Grant City, and the more significant one just to the south of Grant City between Worth, Grant City on Highway 169 there. So it's moving mainly east around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So Allendale, I need you to be fully prepared to have some pretty big hail drop into your town. And then this will cross over into northern Harrison County. So those of you, again, near the Iowa state line, please watch out for that one. I want to go back now closer to the metro. There's another spot of rotation that just has my eye right now. There's nothing warned on it or anything, but I've been watching a little bit of a pulse up here in this bright green, and that is going to be just south of Eudora. Here's K10. So the far eastern part of Douglas and western parts of Johnson County. Let's just watch that little hot spot there. Again, nothing warned right now, but there is definitely still rotation embedded as these storms kind of clashing together now, Luke, and making a large cluster here. Just very noisy here evening.
Yeah, it is. So, in fact, I have something new on my end. We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes the metro. Essentially what this is an extension from the first one that expires here in 5 minutes. Now it goes until 8:30 and encompasses more of the Kansas City metro. So it's going to cross over into the Missouri side, more of the Missouri side, and that one goes again until 8:30 this evening. So let's get a fresh look at this one. The storms have been on a weakening trend. They were strongest earlier today in Kansas when they first fired up in north central and central portions of east central Kansas. As they marched eastward, the atmosphere is a little bit less favorable for them to maintain their strength. We do see these generally on a bit of a weakening trend. So this warning is not as intense as this warning. The storms here are stronger now than they likely will be here, but it's all a severe thunderstorm warning. We could have 70-mile-per-hour winds, maybe larger than golf ball size hail potential. With this first one that goes for another 5 minutes, then that one will be dropped, and then the new one is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch diameter hail. That's kind of on the lower end of severe limits, but that's what we see that's going to sweep across the metro. So the core of the storm right now, southwest of Weatherby Lake, here's Leavenworth. Leavenworth, you're out of the warning. It's right around Bonner Springs or just north of Bonner Springs. That right there would probably be some hail. South of Tonganoxie, too. You can see how this whole batch right here, it's not one spot that I can track for you, rather this kind of whole leading edge. Moving into Olathe now. I'm going to walk you through all this. We're going to check this out and get into some neighborhoods and look at the hail and look at the winds as they stand right now and when you can expect them in other areas. So the new warning extends now. This is going to go into what are we going to be in the Liberty area, so Platte County, and then it's going to be working its way, so this whole warning extends further south, so that's Jackson County, Missouri. Here's Lee's Summit, so Leewood, you'd be included in that too, Leewood in Kansas, and then like the Red Bridge area here in Jackson County, Missouri. Some new spots included in that warning. So let's see where it's most intense right now. If you're in KC, at the moment you're getting rain, you're getting some lightning and some thunder, but this is the reason for the severe warning, and that's around Baser and Bonner Springs. So Parkville, you're going to be having it move in towards you with this core. It's that core right there, this kind of whole red spot moving east at about 40-45 miles per hour. That'll be there within about 15 to 20 minutes or so. Bonner Springs, you're into some heavy rain, but the worst of it's probably right back here along 70. And that is still yet to come in Bonner Springs. Here's 435, here's 70. It's generally west of 435, kind of right along and north of 70, except for this little spot that we have there. That's west of Bonner Springs. And then DeSoto, it's coming on you fast, and Olathe, you as well. Let's see what the winds look like. At one point, this could have been producing 70-mile-per-hour winds. Let's see if I can spot any of that on the velocities, and if I do, I'll track that. I'm going to track the whole thing. So, no, I see a big spot. What do you have? What, our storm tracker? That's our storm tracker. Where's oh, we've got a rainbow. Oh, okay, yeah. You can see a rainbow in our box. Hey, it's always good to see something to give us a little bit of a break. So is this our mobile storm tracker that's out right now? So, yeah, there we go. So, hey, a little bright spot for you. Good to see that. Like that. As far as the severe level winds, doesn't mean because I don't spot them on radar that they aren't there, but I do see that clump that is southwest of DeSoto, northwest of Gardner. That might be on a track for Olathe, so let's see what those winds could be. It's right south of Eudora. This is one that Warren was just on. That one could be 50, 60, maybe even higher at ground level. So if it's going to be moving east at about 45, let's see when that could get to Olathe. It's not showing up on it here, but that ought to be somewhere around, well, there's Overland Park at 8:35. There's Olathe, 8:14. So Olathe, this might be there in about a half hour. So Cedar Park, potential high winds there. I see something that jumps out to me. Olathe about 8:14 and Lenexa 8:26. Overland Park, give or take, about 8:30. One spot that I see that I just wanted to highlight there. Let's get to our hail tracker, and then I'm going to highlight the whole line and march it east into this metro. So let's go to our hail tracker here. And Warren, if you would like, you could track the whole thing if you want to go through Kansas City, and I'll look at this hail. So we've got hail moving into Bonner Springs now. I told you about that core that was right along and just north of I-70. That right there, it doesn't look huge now. This may be on a weakening trend, but we could have golf balls potentially within that. We saw that back on the southwest side of Leavenworth County. Again, this has got a little bit of a lag to it, but you see the motion with it. Should be crossing over the 435 loop. Let's go to Warren, and you can track out kind of that core of the storm and when people can expect it in their neighborhood.
Sure thing. Yeah, so we are going to track it about, let's just say it's moving about 35, 40 miles per hour to the east. So the leading edge of this, we'd say, Olathe, you and Shawnee, the western part of the metro here, western Johnson County, you're kind of next in line, also into the heart of Wyandotte County, and then also on your way north on 29 to the airport and parts of northern Wyandotte as well. So that's kind of the area that we're watching for the strongest part of the storm to move in next. Olathe about pretty much now in the next 5 minutes, especially on the western edge. Shawnee, you're also here in the next 10 minutes. Overland Park, also here, again, the heart of Johnson County before about 8 o'clock. Then Kansas City in the heart of the metro is going to be just after 8 o'clock as well. So if you are in the immediate Kansas City metro, you likely have some lightning around and maybe some light rain, but the heavier rain and the more frequent lightning, maybe some gusty winds coming in here in the next 15, 20 minutes. And then that'll cross on to the Missouri side of the state line. Arrowhead, Independence, Lee Summit, you know, that part of the metro will be more into the next, I'd say 30 minutes or so, and then it'll continue its track to the east. As we've watched this storm near the western part of the metro go through Douglas, Jefferson counties, it definitely has lost a little steam. We still have frequent lightning, though, and even some gusty winds embedded within that thunderstorm, cluster of thunderstorms. But thankfully, right now, the rotation not overly strong anywhere, but definitely noisy. And we have some significant turbulence in our atmosphere, so the clouds are beautiful. We have mammatus clouds and upward motion kind of all over the place. So definitely going to be a sight to see as it comes through. But just remember, as you are in this warning now, please find yourself inside away from windows because we do have frequent lightning here associated with some some of this as well. So that's kind of the track here over the next 45 minutes, or about 45 minutes to an hour. Luke?
Yeah, thanks, Warren. This is transitioning away from what at one point was a tornadic supercell that had a confirmed tornado with it, when this was a little bit further to our west, when we were in portions of Jefferson County and threatened Douglas County. It has wound down. This is on a weakening trend. I think what we're going to be dealing with here now, and I want to highlight that the warning previously had up to 70-mile-per-hour winds. That is gone. Now it is 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch diameter hail. So this goes until 8:30. It does include Kansas City and surrounding areas. Everybody here in the yellow box. The reason for it is these two spots that are cores. I do see the core around Bonner Springs, just north of Bonner Springs. That one looks to be winding down a little bit. That's the leftover core from the storm that was rotating from whenever this was spinning. It's still there. It's still probably producing some small hail. I do not see big hail with this at this point. But that would be right along I-70, just east of Baser, Loma Vista, Piper, some spots like that. You may be getting some gusty winds, maybe severe. It might be 60-mile-per-hour winds there. It's possible. That would be in little pockets. Not everybody in this warning is going to get severe weather. Some of us are going to fall in between some of these cores, and it's just going to be showers and thunderstorms. But you might get some damaging winds to come through, and you might get some small hail there. Another spot is Stony Point. That would be awfully small if it's there. That's more heavy rain signature to me, but right about there along I-70, rough weather and gusty winds. I think the strongest of it now is what's from Olathe back to DeSoto. You can see the colors change here. This may be a new core trying to go up, so we were tracking this one out of Eudora where it had a little bit of spin left to it. Might be something trying to pulse up a bit. That would be the biggest hail. That one might be golf balls or 1-inch diameter. We'll check the hail tracker here in a second. That line extends, weakens a little bit back toward Olathe, but that whole clump right there could be producing some 60-mile-per-hour winds. I think that's the one that's going to be moving toward Overland Park. Might be stronger on the south side of this coverage area, or of this warning box rather, so that maybe 70 and south. We'll keep this in mind, but I think this one's a little bit more intense from what I can see at this point. So let's go to the winds and see if I can spot any winds. And I want to look around just east of Eudora. And yeah, there's not much there now. So there's still a little bit of broad rotation. We're watching this spot right here. So it's east of Eudora, southwest of DeSoto. It's not strong rotation, but it tells us that the storm is still healthy. And within some of these brighter locations here, like east of DeSoto, there's Olathe. Maybe just north of Olathe, we could get some 60-mile-per-hour winds. And this one's kind of tracking eastward. So that would be in about 10, 15 minutes in Olathe. Up around Baser, another little bright spot there. That could be some damaging winds potential. Let's go to the hail, see what the hail's looking like. We've got a new core that's going up around DeSoto. So this is the old core. Might still have some pea-size, pocket change size hail with that. It's within the warning. This is the new one around Eudora. That one's the one that may be tracking towards you in Olathe and Overland Park, all within the same warning, but two kind of different cells here, two different areas that could be severe. So with that, let's go to Melissa. Melissa, have you had any reports come in as this is entering the Kansas City metro? It's going to be affecting people. We tend to get more reports come in. Or is it quiet? What are you seeing?
We do have one report of 56-mile-per-hour wind gusts at 99th and Leavenworth Road near KCK. So there have been some reports of 56-mile-per-hour winds on our Kansas side near KCK. So still seeing a lot of heavy rainfall with this as well. I do want to point that out that in the Leavenworth County, the National Weather Service had said there could be rainfall rates at 2 to 3 inches per hour. So as we're seeing more of this heavy rain towards the back, could be seeing some of that flash flooding potential and heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning, as well as thunder, as well as starting to see some reports of damaging winds at this point, as that newest report was 56 miles per hour near KCK and 99th and Leavenworth Road. So that's the latest reports that we have at this time. And Warren, do you have any new information?
Yeah, so we've just been watching this cluster of thunderstorms come in from the west down I-70, and it started with some significant storm action in the Topeka area. So we actually are going to bring in Brad Stevens. He has an update from the Topeka area. Brad, what do you have for us?
Yeah, sadly, these storms have turned fatal. Warren, Pottawatomie County officials have confirmed one person is dead from a tornado in Westmoreland, Kansas. Westmoreland is just northeast of Manhattan, Kansas. So this is a picture of that storm that one of our viewers sent in. Officials say another 3 people in that area are hurt. They're minors. or injuries are considered to be minor, but authorities in the area say the damage there in the Westmoreland area is extensive. We have seen some video coming in from storm chasers from that area. A very powerful tornado that struck Westmoreland earlier. First responders, as we know, are also in that area right now searching for any more people that may either be trapped or who may be hurt. Shawnee County's emergency management says they are sending equipment to help out as well. So we'll continue to stay on top of this story for sure, as these storms have now turned fatal just outside or just near Westmoreland, Kansas, which is northeast of Manhattan, Kansas. Luke?
Thank you, Brad. We hate to hear that. It's just tragic. Awful news coming in out of just northeast of Manhattan tonight. We do have several severe thunderstorm warnings. There's more than two. There's two areas. I do want to go north for a moment because we've had a considerable threat from a storm that's now entering Harrison County, rather. This is going to be moving here. Let me get it up a little bit further for you. This northern cell, there's two cells here. This northern cell right here is producing up to maybe tennis ball size hail. This is a warning. If you're in this area, this warning, I'll put a warning on it for you. It's also got a tornado possible with it. That goes until 8:30. You got about another 37 minutes, and it's rotating. And the bigger threat right now is large hail. And then there's another one that's right behind it. This one is in Gentry and just part of Worth County. That one's got up to 60-mile-per-hour winds and ping pong ball size hail, but there's two storms back to back up here for some of our northern viewers. Want to let you know about that, and we'll compare these two storms to what we have moving into the metro. You can see the bright colors here. This is an intense, very intense, severe thunderstorm moving into Harrison County. Look around Grant City. That spot right there could have seen 2.5-inch hail, so we'd be looking at tennis balls, something like that. It's about to move in toward the Eagleville area, so this is I-35. That's one. There's another. Two spots of very large hail and some rotation that we need to keep tabs on. Compare that to what we have moving into the metro. This is our hail tracker here, and it does have hail. This is a new core that we're watching. I think this is going to be the dominant one coming up, but we still have this one. It's around Bonner Springs. Both of these are under the same severe thunderstorm warning. This is all moving into a very highly populated area, the Kansas City metro. You can see it here with the lightning strikes. There's one, there's two. Each of these could have 60-mile-per-hour winds. Each of them could have hail. I think this one around Olathe, it's moving in through Olathe right now and off to the southwest. That's near Eudora, just past Eudora. I think Overland Park, you're going to be next. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a track on this bright spot, and it's been moving east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour, and see when it's in Overland Park. So 8:30, give or take. It'll be coming towards you. Lenexa, you'll get it first. That'd be about 8:21. Craig, 8:11. All right, then in Leawood, so we'd be looking at Leawood, Kansas, and then Kansas City. That should be the Missouri side there for the southeast side of KC Mo, and then Arrowhead Stadium. That's beyond the length of the warning. The warning goes until 8:30, but that's one pocket that I'm monitoring. Let's go to one other that's further to the north. This is going up through the Parkville area now. This could get some of us up in the Northland, up around Shawnee. You're probably past the worst of it. I'm looking at Parkville and Bethel and Stony Point. This is not as strong as the other core, and it's not as defined. So what I'm going to do is put our little line on it here and track this one eastward. That's only at 20. I need to redo that. So let's pull this view back out. But I want you to know, if you're in this area, this is another spot that could have at least some gusty, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and maybe some small hail. You've got some time out ahead of it to pull your car in, do something like that, all right? So that would be in Kansas City, Kansas, 8:01, that's coming there, it's essentially there. And then KC Mo crosses over the river, that'd be at 8:07, Randolph, 8:12, and Sugar Creek at 8:20, all right? So the warning goes till 8:30, that'd put it at Atherton, River Bend, just before that at 8:21. Warren, let's go over to you. Let's give our viewers an update on what the watch is and maybe how long this is going to last.
Yeah, absolutely. So the good news, once this line of thunderstorms, broken line or cluster comes to your area, the severe threat will be done. So this is just a one punch through. We're not worried about more forming on the back edge here. So you can see that already. Those to the west of, Lawrence, Douglas County, down Franklin, Garnett, Anderson County, you are still in the watch, just basically for now. But on the back edge, they are letting this expire as the line comes through. So the Kansas City Metro and pretty much everybody else to the east and southeast under a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight I don't think it'll go that long, again, just because that line, whenever the line comes to your area, we'll likely see that expire. So I just want to show you, give you an update on the line as a whole, and now it's becoming super broken. So you've got 3 little pockets, one up that's really thriving up near the Iowa state line. I think that needs to be watched very closely because there's some rotation that's not great, but that those hail cores are very dangerous right now. So that's hugging the Iowa state line, and then from basically down 35 until you get to the metro, after you get through Harris County, it's really quiet right now. But then in the metro, a stronger thunderstorm has continued to move from west to east and is nearing the state line here shortly. And then you travel down 35 and you've got another cluster that's south of Emporia. So those of you in Anderson and Lynn counties, you might clip that. So it's definitely broken and will continue to break up more. But all in all, we still have likely a couple more hours of strong thunderstorms as these cross over onto the Missouri side, especially this cluster here in the middle. All right, Melissa, I'll send it over to you.
I want to take another look at our northern counties as we do have that severe thunderstorm warning until 8:30. That's for Gentry, Harrison, and Worth. So we have just gotten new reports in of golf ball sized hail in the Worth area. So we've been tracking this for very large hail, damaging winds, mainly seeing reports of hail over the last couple of hours moving along the northern border of the state. So we still have that threat for that large hail moving through portions of Gentry, Harrison, Worth with these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that continue until 8:30 p.m. this evening. Public reported hail of golf ball size. So large hail with this continuing to move towards the east, and this continues until 8:30 p.m. So definitely downstream of this, as this is still on the cusp of the Missouri and Iowa border, and that tornado warning is not in our area, but I do wanted to zoom out so we can see that if you're towards the Mercer area, Trenton, as this continues to move towards the east, kind of hugging along that state line, do be prepared for large hail as this storm continues to push it towards the east. Luke, back to you.
Thank you, Melissa. Let's take a cam. We've got the storms moving through now. This is our Advent Health cam and our Advent Health medical cam, and this is on I-35. Pointed toward Overland Park, so near Lenexa, pointed toward Overland Park. And you see the storms moving in, and we do have the severe thunderstorm warning that continues for us until 8:30. We've got another half hour with this warning. We do see this on a general weakening trend. All right, so we still have a lot of lightning. It's still a strong 2 areas here. It's essentially 2 storms now that is tracking through. Once this is past us, we're going to be done. All right, so this is our severe threat, and then we're not done across the area, but for the Kansas City metro, once this one's come through, largely likely we're going to be winding down with our severe threat. This is kind of one line in and out. Once it's past you, you're going to be in better shape. Let me show you just the loop here. I'll take the lightning off, and you can even tell from some of the bright colors here. Let me take it back, and I'm not seeing it as strong as it once was. So if we just pull this out a little bit, and I'll take you whenever it was really wrapped up. This was northwest of Lawrence. You can see how that right there is a pretty strong signal. Bright colors, you see some purples in there. Just compare that to what we have now. It's still a severe thunderstorm. It's still capable of producing hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And there's one core right there, that spot that's kind of near DeSoto. Here, there you go. But largely, a lot of this is on a weakening trend. This was expected. This is why the tornado watch did not extend into the metro. Severe thunderstorm watch extended into the metro because these would be going into a less favorable environment and generally on a downward trend. That said, we do still have some intense storms and possible hail and high winds that's moving into the Overland Park area. Olathe, you're kind of on the south side of it. I think the strongest part of it would still be right about here. That's your best shot to see any significant hail. That'd be to the size of quarters possibly. And that's going to be moving toward the Overland Park area. You've probably got about 10 or 15 minutes. These hail cores bounce around. And all along this leading edge, you could get 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We had a report earlier of 56-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That was out ahead of the storms. What these things do is when they're exhaling, they push down. All that rain comes down, it's chilled air, and it just funnels down to the ground and pushes out ahead of it. So sometimes, even before you get into really heavy rain, is whenever you get your peak wind gusts, which is what seemed to happen in Kansas City, Kansas earlier this evening with a 56-mile-per-hour gust. Here's another spot around Wellborn and Turner. So there's 70, just north of 70, kind of between 70 and K5, right through there. Could have some small hail, probably some gusty winds out ahead of that line. Parkville, right now, let's put a loop on that and see if that's going to be headed toward Parkville or if it's just going to miss you. There you go. It's probably going to miss you to the south, more toward Wellborn, maybe Avondale. That could get the north side of Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. So sweeping through there, that's two spots that we see that are the most intense right now. If you fall in between kind of this little spot right here, like Shawnee's in right now, you're not getting a whole lot. Some of us will fall into the gaps between the stronger cells and not necessarily get severe weather. So that's the track with those two storms. I'll put a big line on it and just kind of as one big clump as it moves east. When it's going to be in your area, it's about 35, 40 miles per hour. So Kansas City, Kansas, it's essentially there depending on if you're on the northwest side or if you're on the west side of Kansas City, Kansas. Coming in here now, Overland Park be about 8:10. So you got about, probably 8 to 10 minutes before the leading edge of that comes in. The heavy rain, possible hail will follow behind that. And then Kansas City, Missouri crosses over 8:16. And then Arrowhead would be about 8:30 on its current track. I'm going to wonder if this is going to be extended, this warning past this, as it's generally starting to throttle down a little bit. All right, Warren, let's go back to you where we have a significant storm. Does it still have the considerable tag up in Harrison County?
Yes, it still does. We are watching two cells now kind of dance close together. It's almost forming into a little cluster here again in far northern Missouri. So here is 35 in northern Harris County here. But we did actually, I want to take this back just a second. We had a significant hail core go through Grant City. And I am hearing that we have some video from Grant City. And I believe there were golf ball. Yeah, this is a pretty good size hail there. So we had reports of golf ball size hail there in Worth County and pretty significant fall in there. Thankfully, it wasn't bigger than that because we are seeing signs on radar of potentially bigger than that just up in the atmosphere a little bit. So I'm glad that at least tennis ball hail is not significantly falling, but that is still a threat with this cluster here to the north. So let's take one more look. Just if you are heading north on 35 for any reason this evening, I would delay that for a little while because this is going to take a minute for these cells to cross 35 and then travel to the east. So there's two warnings in place with this cluster to the north. And one of them, the northern extent, is going to be until 8:30. And that is for 70 mile per hour wind gusts and 2-inch hail up to egg size hail. That's this northern one. But that's got that little hail core right there. This one near Albany, though, that's when I'm a little more interested in that one specifically at the moment. And that potentially could have even larger hail with it, I believe. So that is up to tennis ball size hail with that warning. And both of these are moving to the east generally. So just after 8 o'clock now, both of these until 8:30. It's going to take that amount of time to, I think, clear this whole polygon and then cross 35. So just worth noting, I know this is far from the metro to the north, but we've had coverage here for the last week and we have a lot of friends up in northern Missouri. So definitely two really strong hail cores there that are worth watching as well. Luke.
All right, Warren, thank you. Hey, we're going to take a view from the airport. This is our airport city cam. And while we're getting backlit, we have some sunshine giving us just an incredible view there as these storms are moving through. It's not as intense up by the airport, but we do have strong storms all around and angry skies. Going to get some heavy rain and spots. We're going to have some winds, maybe to 60 miles per hour. I have a couple areas that I want to highlight on just our Doppler winds. So this is the storm cluster moving through. We've got another, 25 minutes left on this warning. Melissa, I'll come to you and see if you have any updates on reports here in just a bit. But before we get there, let's pause this and check out the Doppler winds because I see two spots where it's most likely to see severe level winds. One is going to be up here between Wellborn and Turner. This is a spot, too, where we highlighted earlier that you could be having some hail. I don't think it's going to be monster hail. It doesn't look that way, but you may get some in this area. So there's 635, there's 70, Wellborn, Bethel, probably just south of Parkville. This is more on an east track, so KCK. Going to get up here in the Northland maybe a little bit, probably just south or near Gladstone, and then it's going to cross over the river and be in North KC. It's kind of moving eastward with that. So within this pocket right here, bright colors might have some damaging winds. It's not into downtown Kansas City yet. It might be on the north side. Then there's another one that's down here. You see, it changes colors to green because where our radar is located, but it all tells us how fast the winds are. So this one's right about Overland Park. So around Overland Park, especially southwest right here, that would be north of the 435 loop and where 35 kind of runs through. So around Lenexa and Overland Park, Quivira would be one spot. There's Flum, kind of in this general zone right now. Wouldn't be surprised if we had some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts right there. There's Shawnee Mission Parkway. Here's 35. That's one of the peak winds that I see right now. That's just north of Lenexa at this point. So those are the two areas that stand out for winds. We always want to check in on the hail. I don't see rotation. At one point, we had two areas of rotation with these. That is gone. We do not have any tornado warnings. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. Hail looks to be lagging a bit. And what I mean by that is, as these cores are coming down, where I'm not getting as much of a signal on my hail tracker at this point. So we got a little bit there by Olathe. It's not much, all right? So that's coming down. We were watching this core build around DeSoto, then it weakened a bit by Olathe. Could have some small stuff there. Also, as this is tracking just south of Parkville, notice how we lose the tail. So we might not even have hail with that particular part of the storm. It's probably more on the south side if it's there. There's your severe thunderstorm warning. So it's headed toward downtown. I actually think downtown is going to miss the worst of this. It's going to be more down here toward Overland Park and then in toward Leewood. Eventually might get toward Lee's Summit. Lee's Summit, you're not in the warning right now, but that's really the stronger cell. Okay, Melissa, let's go to you and see if you have any updates for us there, any reports coming in on your end.
There have been reports of those golf ball sized hail coming in from our northern counties with those two severe thunderstorm warnings that continue until 8:30 p.m. So if you are in those areas, that Worth, that Gentry, Harrison towards the Mercer County areas, please be making sure you're inside, or if you have time and you are not in the warned storm yet, let me pull up this really quick so I can have a little bit of a, before I get to the new SPC outlook for this evening. So I'm talking about our Princeton areas near Spickard as well. You have some time, as we have seen, that this kind of cluster of thunderstorms, as it continues to push towards the east, has been producing about golf ball sized hail. So if you are out ahead of this near the Spickard, the Princeton area, make sure you're getting out there and bringing in your car if your car is outside, but still seeing large hail associated with the storms near the Gentry, Harrison, and Worth area, and as that continues until 8:30 p.m. But I do want to look at too is the new Storm Prediction Center outlook for this evening. And there is good news, and that good news is that the enhanced risk, that level 3 out of 5 risk, has been taken out for our area. So now we are in the slight risk and the marginal risk at this time. So a 2 out of 5 risk and a 1 out of 5 risk. So isolated to widely scattered, strong to severe storms still remain possible as we head through the evening hours. And I do want to overlay it too with our radar, as we have seen these storms continue to drop towards the southeast. As you can see at this point, the activity that is still severe warned at this time in the Kansas City area is within the yellow box, which is still that slight widely scattered chance for those strong to severe thunderstorms. So as this continues to push towards the southeast, likely going to continue to see that weaken, but still keep the chance as it pushes towards the southeast for that isolated strong to severe storm. We're still monitoring damaging winds as well as hail as the primary threats with the storms that we continue with through the evening hours. There is still that isolated tornado threat as we head through the evening hours with this new update, but still the primary threats continue to be damaging winds and hail with these storms.
All right, Melissa, look at this. This is our mobile storm tracker? Okay, this is our mobile storm tracker. Look at the clouds that you see here. We've seen these a couple times today. If you've never seen this, these are mammatus clouds, where you get these little puffy kind of balls on the bottom side of the cloud. Kind of looks like cauliflower, something like that, upside down. That's whenever the atmosphere is very turbulent and it's volatile and you get strong storms. That's the only way that you'll get those. So that's spotted from our mobile storm tracker. They're out near the airport right now. That's spotted near the airport. So let's look at this on radar, and I see a good sign. One is, compare the storms up here that are in Harrison and Gentry and Worth counties. These storms are really going, all right? These things are producing big hail and high winds. Look at the lightning that you see with that. Compare that with the lightning strikes over the past hour and how they're fading. These storms are decaying. We do still have the warning and the potential in the Kansas City metro with our severe thunderstorm warning. It goes for another 20 minutes. 4 strong winds, maybe some hail. I'm not seeing much of the hail threat anymore. At one point, we had large hail possible with this. That looks to be decaying. But as these storms are dying, they can still push out a lot of wind, and I think that's going to be the primary threat. The worst of that right now. See how this northern cell up here, this one just kind of fell apart. All right, watch that one. So that one I think is pretty well done. It's just this last one that we have, all right, down here by Overland Park. So as we see these cells diminish, they're likely either just at the bottom level of severe threat or they're falling below it. I do not anticipate this to be a large threat any longer. Get ready for some gusty winds, some strong storms around Overland Park, and it's going to cross over toward Leawood and Grandview. But for now, this is diminished enough. I think we can get away from this, and it's no longer a big threatening situation. If that does happen, which I doubt it does, but if it were to happen, we'd let you know. We'd have you covered right here at KCTV 5. Now we'll send you back to programming. Thank you for watching.